this is very similar to other approaches that I've done in the past, but basically the problem is you want to prioritize work in a way that allows you to match capacity to your prioritization, right? So do what matters most first. And so what you start with is this idea of what I call a value rubric. And so we identified 6 different areas that we want to improve in the organization this year, right? This is our strategic plan for the year. So network upgrades, retail banking, retail and commercial lending, data analytics and reporting, improving process efficiency, and supporting business growth and revenue. And then we went through an analytic hierarchy process of just these items, did pairwise comparisons to say, how do they rank it against each other and come up with a quantitative scale. So, and what came out was network upgrades was 20% of our value. Retail banking was 21%. Retail and commercial lending was 25%. 8% was data analytics and reporting. Improving process efficiency was 8%, and supporting business growth and revenue was 17%. So altogether, that's how we're going to rank our projects for the year using this rubric. And now this can change, and every year we rebalance and try to figure out. We might add categories, remove categories, edit categories, and so on. But this is what helps us prioritize the work for the year, or a quarter, or anytime your environment changes and you think you have to reprioritize, you can use this rubric to figure that out, either by changing the numbers underneath in the pairwise comparisons, or by adding another element and then reworking the prioritization and then ranking those projects against that. So next step is, how do we rank projects against the rubric? And what we have, and this is running in Smartsheet right now. I also have a version, there's lots of versions out there that you can use that work in Excel. It's very easy to do in Excel. Essentially, what you do is you take each project, and we have hundreds of projects in the pipeline. And what we do is we look at, for this particular project, you go and you start looking at each category and how much lift value you're going to pick up by doing that project, right? So for networking security, I'm saying that this particular project is going to give us a 3 out of 5. For retail banking support, it's a full 5 out of 5. Lending support, it's 3 out of 5. Data analytics, 3 out of 5. Process efficiency, 1 out of 5. And business growth and revenue, 5 out of 5, right? So based on those components, and each one gets multiplied against their strategic value rubric component. So it would be 0.3 times 0.2. I'm sorry, 3 times 0.2 plus 5 times 0.21, and so on. So once you do a sum of the products, then I multiply that by 100 to get kind of a nice scale, and it comes up with a number. It doesn't matter what these numbers are, as long as they're, that they're relative to each other and relative to the rubric, and that's all that matters. It's a scale that allows you to sort all that through. So here's how you would go in and make those changes if you wanted to. In Smartsheet, you could do this in Excel, as I mentioned. So that's really all there is in terms of being able to come up with a value rubric using the ACH. Analytic hierarchy process, AHP. And then once you have this ranked, the rubric based on the analytic hierarchy process, then you go in and you start ranking projects against that. And as it might be hard to do in the beginning because you have a lot of projects, but as new projects come in, you do the same thing. It's part of our intake, if you will, that you would do this. And then you'd see what things line up. and then the next step would be the roadmap, and then that's out of the scope for this particular video, but this is how you would do kind of quantitative ranking of projects against the value rubric. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Well, let me do this.